we appreciate you, Candace, for your platform, because your platform is really vital to our groups like us, because we don't get on the major platforms all the time. You know what I mean? Unless you like super Grammy nominated, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But for we still have millions of fans that love
Yes,
Ruff
you
Endz,
do.
and they can get to access us by being on a show like this, and they can hear what's going on. So we appreciate everything that you're doing and your passion for R&B,
Wow.
because it helps the whole industry out.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Urban Influencer, the #1 platform for breaking indie artists. And today we have on our Zoom interview, we have the dynamic duo, Ruff Endz. Let's hear it.
Yay!
Welcome, guys. How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Wonderful.
Well, we're glad to have you today. We're so excited because you're no stranger to the industry. You may get introduced to some today, but of course you guys have a name for yourself already. So how about if you introduce yourself, and let's go from there. Introduce yourself and tell everyone where you're originally from. Let's start with you, Dante.
My name is Dante Chi Jordan, and I'm originally from Baltimore.
Yep, and I'm David, and we're from the same place, Baltimore.
So is that where the duo became the duo in Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, in our hometown.
Well, tell us
Yep,
about
Baltimore's
that. How
own,
did
as
you
they
guys come
say.
together?
Well, we came together in high school. We grew up in the same neighborhood, but Dante's family kind of knew my family. My family was the church family. Dante was kind of in the streets as well, you know what I mean? So when we grew up, when we got together, fast forwarding years, I would say past when we were like young kids, like we were kids at one time when I kind of used to see him, like 5, 6, 7 years old, that kind of thing. But then we fast forward to high school, we're teenagers. I ran into him in the music class, and Dante was still kind of like in the streets, you know what I mean? I was just cutting class, you know what I mean? I wasn't in the streets, but we came from the same hood. But Dante saw me singing with some other guys in the music class. I was around the piano, working on a song, we was harmonizing, not knowing he was checking out the whole thing, because he could sing too, you know what I mean? So he came over and started singing, and we kind of connected. And from that group, that high school group, that didn't kind of work out. We tried to get another group, it didn't work out. But one thing remained the same is me and Dante. We became really best friends and like brothers for real. So that was kind of our passion that kind of kept us going. So that's to give you a little quick version of it.
Okay, so now from there, you get together, you have the different groups that kind of disband and you guys stay together. So how do you come up with the sound for Ruff Endz? How did that happen?
But the sound is already a part of, I would say, Baltimore. Baltimore is a part of the sound for us. I guess a lot of singers from Baltimore have like that gut singing. It's like a hard, I don't know, it's a hard way of saying it, I don't know. And the other part is we both write. Since we first got together, probably like that first day, we was songwriters. And my brother does production. So somewhere in there along the lines, is Ruff Endz. Well, I call it David Brown. David Brown is Ruff Endz before Ruff Endz. That was us as kids, and we just used to zone out. We'd get together, we'll fall into a certain zone and we'll build on it. You know what I mean? And that was the base of our creativity, was getting together and vibing out, and that's the sound to me. That's the base of the sound. Is our vibe together, our vibe between our heavy voices and David with his quick ad libs, me with my both of us with our raspiness, what makes the Ruff Endz.
Okay, I like that. Now, take us through your journey. You've had previous success on #1 singles. You've worked with major names in the industry. So take us through that journey of getting those #1 hits and working with those names in the industry that we're all familiar with.
Well, like I said, when we got our deal with Sony and Epic Sony, that was in 1999. We collaborated with Nokia from Drew Hill, and we did a song called "Please Don't Forget About Me," which was a release that came out on the Blue Streak soundtrack, Martin Lawrence's Blue Streak. So it was we were excited to be. That was the days when people came out on soundtracks a lot. You know what I mean? Which you don't see a lot often these days, but. We were on a Blue Streak soundtrack, and that was the first time the world heard us. And then followed up in 2000, we worked with producer Eddie F from Heavy D and the Boys. Eddie F was one of the hottest producers at that time because he was doing people like, ooh, say what, say what, say what.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
He did a lot of those records that had that same kind of sound with that same kind of beat. That was Eddie F and Darren Lighty. They were producers that worked together, and writers Cliff and Bilal. They wrote a lot of stuff in that era too. So we were able to work with them. We worked with Diane Warren on our first album.
Wow.
We worked with Robin Thicke, wrote a song called "You Are the World to Me," which we didn't know who he was at the time. We was like, we didn't even know he was black. I mean, white. You know what I mean? We thought it was a black guy singing a song. So we heard the record.
Soul for you.
Yeah, he's the blue-eyed soul for real, man. And so we were a lot of people, man. Brian Cox did a song called "Missing You," and now B Cox is like one of the big producers now of this era. And so we work with a lot of people from that time some people were big and some people were young, just starting out. And from that album coming out, I would say we went on tour with Mary J. Blige. Mary J. Blige gave us our first big major tour. Wow. And it was she had Jagged Edge, David Hollister, and then Mary J. Blige was headlining. And Jagged Edge did the first half of the tour, and then she got us to do the last half of the tour. And that was our first big tour that we was on. And we kind of ended the tour, I remember, in Radio City Hall in New York, which is a big deal for us. And it was the first time, to share the stage on that level. So it's been a journey, you know what I mean? Of course, second album came out a couple years later, "Someone to Love You." Okay. And that song.
Everyone knows that song.
Yeah, before we did that song, we did a song called "Cash Money." That was on the soundtrack as well, called "I Spy." Eddie Murphy had a movie called "I Spy" with Owen Wilson and Eddie Murphy. It was kind of like a comedy. And then Down to Earth with Chris Rock was another movie. And that was "Someone to Love You." So we did a lot of soundtracks and worked with a lot of different people. And just with those two songs is kind of what kept us alive and kept us around, because they were classic R&B records.
Yes.
That allowed us to really come back. You know what I mean? So we're thankful to have records like that to keep us around for so long.
Well, when the industry started changing and you had those #1, records, what were you all doing in between that time from there to now? What was happening? Were you guys writing for others, or what were you all doing?
Definitely a big part of that was growing up. We needed time to grow up. We jumped right into our music careers young. So being fathers, being all of that stuff was like learning it on the fly. Okay. So I definitely spent some time raising my daughter, and building life skills. Building myself was doing construction. I mean, I did work with some other artists. Okay. But I wanted to get into some things I always wanted to do. Like I wanted to learn brick masonry. I wanted to learn carpentry, sheetrocking, and all of that kind of stuff. So now, you know, I build video sets and did stuff for Kool and the Gang and Slave.
Okay.
David was doing movies and started a label and was putting out other artists and gospel out. Like, you know, we was doing like, you know, the type of stuff that if we had the time away from a super busy schedule,
okay,
like our life that we would do, I think a lot of the stuff that we focused on really doing, getting a chance to do stuff that we call like regular life stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because living as an artist for years and years on end and years, like we was on the road for like a year straight at one time, like literally. Like
so you know what? So I know our audience is loving this. So tell that new artist that's wanting to be where you all have been on the road, so forth. Tell them the upside and the downside.
Upside of like the industry, or
upside of the industry of being at that level.
The upside is you get to live your dreams. The downside is a sacrifice. You know what I mean? And in anything, there's a sacrifice. You know what I mean? So when we were Ruff Endz, being with Ruff Endz in our whole career, in the early part of our career, when, you know, No More was out and Someone to Love You was big, I missed out on a lot of my nieces and nephews' birthdays. We disbanded as a group and I went back home, and I realized that they had a life without me, if you will. You know what I mean? A lot of them were older, you know, started having babies. And so I had to kind of get to know people all over. It was different, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So there's a sacrifice, and that's kind of part of the sacrifice, you know, being away from people, not being able to do what everybody else is doing because we're in the studio working on our album. And a lot of times when it was holidays, we were working on the holidays because there's always a Thanksgiving bash or a Christmas this or, you know, New Year's party, you know what I mean? So those are the sacrifices that you have to make.
But it comes with it, right? So if you're in this industry, you need to know that it just comes with it, and just be prepared to do it.
Exactly.
Well, now, have you all worked with, is there someone in particular that you haven't worked with that you dream to work with? Oh, that's good. I can't say the same, but that's good.
It's quite a few artists. It's definitely quite a few artists I would love to work with. From the rap side to the R&B side, I mean, everybody from Jay-Z to a 50 to J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar to a...
So look, when we talked about working with them, are you talking about writing and producing them or recording with them? What is it that you would like to do?
Both.
Okay.
Both or either or. Like both or either or. As a writer, I would love to write songs for any of them. Oh. Definitely as an artist, I would love to put down some history and share some history together like that. The roster over SRG, shout out to SRG Universal, is really shaping up. Well, I'm not even gonna say shaping up. Is the new home of R&B. Shout out to SRG. We got everybody from Stevie to Sean Stockman, Raheem Devon, Bobby V, Vivian Green, After 7, Brian McKnight. Like, I mean, I could
all the heavy hitters on that. Wow.
I could stay just on our label and pick a tour, pick people I want to work with, legends, whoever. Like, so I mean, it's a blessed situation. It
really is. So what do you feel like is happening to music these days? You know, you guys R&B, you know, bringing it, you know, like you said, that rough edge, you know, rough ends, you know, bringing the roughness. So what's happening to music now, do you feel?
Music has evolved, you know, in my opinion. I love it, you know. I think it's corporatized, like, you know, corporations are running radio now. So You have that. So there's a lot of, back in the day, you could just break a record, you can just play somebody's stuff from the neighborhood and you know, but those days seem like it's pretty much over. So everything's got to go through a system, if you will. People are getting signed based on stats and what their numbers look like on social
Yes.
media, not really based off of real talent. You know what I mean? So
Wait a minute.
it's going to
Now,
be a different industry.
how did you guys handle that? So like you said, everyone is getting booked, you know, signed now from the numbers and so forth. So coming back into the game, how did the paradigm of making the transition, how did you all handle that?
There was nothing really that I mean to go ahead, bro. Your phone is muted.
My bad. I'm all getting into it. Thanks, brother. First of all, confidence within yourself. I heard a young man call himself the king of R&B. To some people, it's crazy, you know. And to our class of people, like the 90s class of R&B singers, we think it might be, you know, even disrespectful or too much in some ways. But at the same time, that's the confidence you got to build in yourself. That's the confidence you really have to build in yourself sometimes, well, a lot of times to rise to the occasion.
Right.
You got to tell, listen, I'm supposed to be here.
Right.
Just you telling yourself that puts you in a different mind frame.
You're right, exactly right.
Brings the best out you. And I have you saying like, dang, that's me. Those my vocals.
Right.
I did that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So be sure about yourself. Be sure about yourself enough to bet on yourself. You know what I'm saying?
That's the only way you could come back, because this industry has changed so much to where they've made the playing field, you know, level in so many ways. But at the same time, how they say cream rises to the top. And you guys are showing that you all are the cream, because coming back with what you have is, I mean, everybody's loving it. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the new project and how it came about.
Well, definitely, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, my fault, Dave. Go ahead.
The new project, man, Rebirth. The first title of the album came from our CEO over at SRG. When he heard the whole album, they were really blown away and receiving of the music. And you know, he's like, "You got a name? What you gonna name it? You know what I mean? What you gonna name the album?" And we didn't have a name. He asked me again. He asked me a third time, and the third time he asked me, I didn't realize he already had a name. He thought about it himself. He's like, "Man, what do you think about Rebirth?" And I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Well, just think about it and let me know." But he said, I think it's a great title, man." He said, "I pick good titles, man." And we liked it because it represented, you know, everything about where we are in our life. It's a rebirth of getting through 2020 was a rebirth for everybody in the world. And then, you know, a rebirth of Dave and Brown, a friendship. Like, we're not just a singing group that was put together. You're looking at two brothers, you know what I mean? So us getting back together was the beginning of a restoration, if you will, of our friendship and our brotherhood. And then we're back together with a new purpose as well, a new agenda to our music. It's just not to sell records and the whatever. Yeah, we want to reach a lot of people, but we are more passionate about what we're saying more than ever. And with this new understanding,
you've lived more,
comes out in our music.
Dante was saying about how, you know, hey, you grew up. But tell me, did you all stay in contact in the midst of the hiatus somewhat, I guess? Did you happen to see each other in the mall and go, hey, we need to go back and make another record? What happened?
Crazy story. We ran back into each other through like divine intervention, I would say. The city was in the uprising. We were going through crazy time in Baltimore. Freddie Gray had lost his life to the hands of the police in Baltimore, and things it just drew to a head. where they just erupted, and there was craziness all over the city. In that time, I'm kind of out doing the activist thing a little bit. I'm out there protesting and doing a little whatever. So I was in a part of town called Pikesville, and it's mainly a lot of Jews there. It's like on the Sabbath, a lot of people was outside walking everywhere. It's a nice part of Baltimore. And I'm usually not walking. I'm walking to the store, and I'm on a friend talking to a phone. I said talking to a friend.
You on the phone talking to a friend.
That was perfectly backwards. Perfectly backwards.
That's why you're artistic. I mean, that's what comes with being an artist.
Very artistic, right? How do you do that? And she's a videographer, and she recorded the show that I did with another guy. Because I had people calling like crazy to do Ruff Endz shows. I'm like, the group is not active at the moment, whatever the case is. So they pushing. We do a show. We did a show in New York. She recorded it. So she's on the phone going on and on and on about how we two different animals on stage, how, the other guy can really sing, but David is just, there's no replacement. When you talk about Ruff Endz, the Ruff Endz that I know, he's like, nah, bro. It's like, nah. You know what I mean? I couldn't even get a word in until I stopped her and told her, hold up. I think this is David running across the field right now, right towards me. She's like, what? Stop playing. I'm like, I'm not playing. I'm like, well, I'm talking to you about him, or you talking to me about him.
Wow.
He's running across the field right now, smiling. I don't know. I don't know.
Divine intervention. Oh my goodness.
So look, he's on the phone at the same time. No, he's in the car at the same time talking to his wife. And they playing around. She has one of them very bright personalities. So they playing around. He's like, I don't know. I be thinking everybody Charlie Brown sometime. They call me Charlie Brown.
Okay.
Man, that's probably him. That could be him right there. He said it like 3 times. The 3rd time he said it, it was actually me. He's like, he could be Charlie Brown. I don't know. He's like, hold up. That dude kind of actually looked like Dante. Hey, hold up.
That is Dante.
That is Dante. I mean, what's the saying?
Divine intervention, man.
Fact is stranger than fiction.
Wow, that story is like so amazing. You know what? That must be incorporated in the bios and all the information, because what that did for me as an artist, just loving your music, it makes it even more meaningful. It lets us know that this is not a coincidence. This is not by accident. This project is meant to be.
Exactly. That's why everything kind of happened the way it happened. Like the producers that we were trying to get on there, we couldn't get them on there. The people that we were trying to do, because I wasn't really trying to produce the whole album, because I never produced any of our whole albums before, you know what I mean? So I did a couple songs on our albums, but we had a lot of producers, like tons and tons of writers. So, but none of that happened this time around. This was just all of us. This is David and Dante, 100%.
But no one can tell your story better than you.
True.
Exactly.
So that's why too.
True.
That's why too. Okay, so help us know what to expect. What's happening in the future for Ruff Endz?
Well, we're going to be, we got a documentary that's going to be coming out soon about our story that has never been, just really an in-depth leading from how we grew up in Baltimore to how we got to be, who we are today. So we're excited about working on that. We've got touring coming up as well later this summer. We've got some online performances as well, some virtual performances. So it's just, we want everybody to stay locked into our social media. At official Ruff Endz is where you can lock us in, and that's on Facebook and the gram as well. And you can go to the Real Ruff Endz on Twitter. But these albums are available for people that want to get a physical copy.
Okay.
You can get this at www.srgstore.com, and you can actually get yourself a physical copy of the project. And for like myself, I'm still in the physical copies, especially when it comes to certain classic R&B groups that I'm still a fan of. So
there's nothing like physically holding that CD or that album, isn't it? It just,
it's a whole experience.
It is.
You know, we don't get that no more. You know, we just download it. But you used to hold it, take the wrapper off, you know, look and see who wrote what. And you kind of get to know the names, and you know, that whole deal was crazy.
Yes.
I miss that.
It was nothing like it. And you know what? You felt proud when you could say, oh no, such and such wrote that. And
exactly. You kind of knew the information.
I read it.
You was like, I know my stuff.
That's right.
You was arguing over stuff. You just sitting quiet like, look, let me show y'all.
That's right. That's right. I can show you better than I can tell you. There it is. Bam.
Bam.
Oh, there you go.
We're excited, man. This project means a lot to us. It's a project that again, like he talked about our experience of us getting together. And when we got together and we ran into each other, we both was talking about each other. Right after that, we did a song called Time for Change. And that song was based on what was going on in our city. Our city was on fire because of Freddie Gray, rest in peace, and everything that was happening in the world. So that in that moment of what was happening, it really changed our perspective on how we should do our music. And that's kind of how Rebirth came about, because it was just a new perspective on how we should do music and really be artists.
Well, I have enjoyed this just thoroughly. You guys have been so informative in reference to where you came from, the journey, and then how you reconnected, and then where you are now. And I'm really pulling for the label. What is it again? SRG?
Yeah, SRG. SRG Universal, yeah.
We need them because we need classic R&B to get back in this market and get locked in, because that music has to maintain its place. We cannot let that die.
Let me just add real quick. Let me just add this. Shout out to Claude, and shout out to Rafiq over there. Shout out to our management, Terry Harvey. Claude is a CEO who not only knows music, he loves and he cares about his music. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference when you got a money person in the driver's seat. A money person's, what they care about, what they, you know, how they get into a project is different than somebody that loves the music.
Right.
You know, they started the label because they loved the music. They started the label because they was concerned about what kind of music was getting out there. Like Claude, shout out to Claude. He's definitely, he's an inspiration himself to us, you know what I'm saying? Because he really loves music. You know, he really listens. So if I'm listening,
he's a musician.
Right. I'm listening. I care about somebody. I definitely want to give them some quality and not quantity. Right. You know, I ain't gonna put no trash in front of them. So that's one of the things I think that make SRG different off the top. We got somebody at the helm that knows what they're looking for and knows what they're listening to. So yeah, that's the difference.
Well,
no
hey, I'm looking forward to hearing more from you all. You got 3 singles out, not just 1, but 3. And who would have thought that you could do that too with music? It used to be you have to work that 1 single, but now look, you can work 3 singles at the same time.
Yep, we doing digital. Yep, it's doing really well, man. Shout out to all our fans that had us in the top 10 on Apple Music nationwide. We appreciate y'all. We had the number 4 spot, then we went to number 2, and then we dropped down to number 3. And then when the Osley brothers came out with that versus, Osley and Earth, Wind and Fire, we dropped in the number 10 spot. So right now we're still top 10, and we just want to thank our fans for really supporting the brand and keeping our music alive. And look, we appreciate you, Candace, for your platform, because your platform is really vital to our groups like us, because we don't get on the major platforms all the time, you know what I mean? Unless you like super Grammy nominated or whatever, you know what I mean?
Right.
But we still have millions of fans that love
yes,
our
you
fans,
do.
and they can get to access us by, being on a show like this, and they can hear what's going on. So we appreciate everything that you're doing and your passion for R&B, because it helps the whole industry out.
Yeah.
Well, we thank you, and this has been great. So everybody, go get it. The new Ruff Endz Rebirth, right here. You heard it on the Urban Influencer Zoom interview. I'm your girl, Candace Woodson, aka CW, and everyone, stay blessed out there. Love you guys, and best of luck. Talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
So without your love, I'm like a bird. Girl, we mix like mulatto. To keep it tight is the motto. Respect, love will follow. Where your love goes, girl, we ain't alone. Away from the pain. Girl, we ain't never gonna be the same. Girl, I pray you never change. Cause I don't know why. So glad you came. So glad. Girl, I need to stay my claim. Never worried about the fame. Girl, I want to have my life. Come on, baby, I just wanna be the one you see. I just wanna be the one you need. Only man that holds the key. I just wanna be the one. Come on, baby. I just wanna be the one you trust. I just wanna be the one. Only man that you want. Be the only man. Only man that you love. Only man.
So welcome back to Urban Influencer Radio and Podcast. We're here for another episode. You can find us at theurbaninfluencer.com and all social medias at The Urban Influencer. I'm your host, Aaliyah Floyd, and today with us we have a very special guest, artist King. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good to hear. Good to hear. I'm doing good, just trying to enjoy whatever nice weather that may or may not come our way, so we can
I'm
just
dealing
get
with all
right.
seasons here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm dealing with all seasons one day where I'm at.
Yeah, I know it just snowed recently for us, so I like completely understand. I mean, it's the middle of April, and I'm like, come on, I need the sunshine, I need the good weather. If we're gonna be locked up, the least you could give us is good weather.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's get started. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, where did your name come from? Where did King come from?
Um, it came from pretty much, I don't know, talking with my people. We kind of all came up with it.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Okay. And
Get something that fit.
yeah,
For the
get
brand.
something that fit, works. It works. You young Black King in America, it works. It goes both ways. That's awesome. So you're from Detroit, right?
Detroit, Michigan, West Side.
West Side. Listen, you got a
16
lot of greats coming out
miles.
Detroit. Yeah. Do you ever feel that pressure with, all the rappers that have come out Detroit? Like, do you ever feel that pressure to, put out music and really get your message across?
Um, uh, Mixed feelings, not too much.
Not too much.
It's in a different lane, different lane, different type of music. I feel like I stick out among my city.
Yeah, for sure. So, like, what inspires your music? What inspires you as an artist?
I get inspiration from everywhere. I listen to all music.
All music?
Yeah, it come with the vibe.
For sure. So, who would you say has been, like, what artists have been, like, your biggest influences, like, over your lifetime?
Eminem, Lil Wayne more so, Tupac, Biggie, Nas,
Great.
a lot of different artists. I got a lot. I can name a lot.
All great artists. Yeah, no worries. There's a lot of great artists to choose from. So that totally makes sense. How did you come about rapping? How did you come about music? Did you start at as a young age? Was it something that you kind of grew to? Yeah, young age.
At a young age, and other family members also into music, so it's just kind of in the family. So
Oh, that's awesome.
Really, since I could talk, some tune gonna come out, dance. Always had a passion for music.
Do other members of your family also rap? Like, can we be expecting features soon?
Anything possible, but yeah, I got family members rap, sing.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. It's always great to have, family in music, people who surround you who love and appreciate the same things that you do, kind of can help drive you, help be your motivation. So how would you describe your music?
Different. I got my own style, and I feel like fans never know what to expect. It's just the vibe, and I go off what I'm feeling in the studio. Or, you know what I'm saying? Who's around me? This type of producers, they, you know what I'm saying? They craft. So I always make sure I switch it up.
Yeah, definitely.
My versatility stands out.
Yeah, well, I mean, you definitely want to keep people on their toes. You don't want to become sort of just what's expected or fall into some sort of pattern. So I definitely get that, keeping people up on their toes, bringing fresh new content, just, being yourself. No, so that's awesome. So for you in your music, I know you mentioned a lot of the greats like Eminem, Nas. Who would be your dream feature? Like, if you had anybody on a song, who would you pick?
Probably Lil Wayne.
Lil Wayne. Any
Probably,
particular reason?
um, his versatility and his versatility always stuck out to me.
Yeah.
He's never knew what to expect and was always wild and what I'm saying, spontaneous. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, no, he's definitely a great artist. One of those artists who, brought a lot of people up with him as well. So definitely cool person to have on a feature. So your single that came out, Black Lives Matter, top charted, went out, did great, did amazing. Like, even I was watching the video, the visuals are great. So where did you come up with the inspiration to put out a song like that? I know during COVID, we witnessed a lot. So I can definitely see where you drew those inspirations, the killing of George Floyd, the cops, the trial that we just recently saw. So like what kind of like moved you to write the song?
I mean, pretty much just what was happening at the time. I mean, it hit the nation. So, and I just wanted to speak on it.
Yeah, for sure. Was there any particular event that triggered this, that was like, yeah, no, you know what, I need to speak on this? Or was it just a culmination of everything?
Oh, definitely the George Floyd.
George Floyd.
Yeah.
That set off a lot of anger, and like it definitely moved mountains. So were you like out and about like protesting? Were you like galvanizing?
I mean, we kind of going through COVID, so not too much of the protest, but I mean, I was aware.
Yeah. No, for sure. I think we all were aware, COVID, especially with the pandemic, like you had no choice but to be aware, which is, one of the great things.
I stayed following, so.
Yeah, no, for sure. So who would you put on your current playlists, like your everyday playlist? Like if you were going to the gym to work out, or if you were just going for a ride, what artists would be on your playlist?
Detroit artist Sada Baby. I know they'd be on my playlist. Most Young Blue. Young Blue.
Young Blue,
Young
yeah.
Blue on the playlist. That's another feature of mine have.
That's another feature you would have. Any favorite song by him?
Huh?
Or do you have a favorite song by him, or is just like everything that he puts out?
What's the name of the song? Got a couple I love. Last Time, I believe is that the name of the song? It's one of the first songs he came out with. It's a single, I believe. It might be called Last Time.
Okay.
If I can remember that right, it might be called Last Time.
Yeah, no, he's great. He's a great artist. So honestly, anything he puts out. So I know you have a upcoming album coming out.
Yes.
I don't know the title. I just know it's a forthcoming album. Got sent a couple tracks. What was the motivation behind this album?
I would say the struggle, pain, where I come from, hard times in the city, just everyday life stuff. Just in my version.
Yeah. So has like Detroit really, like growing up in Detroit, really shaped, your artistry?
Yes.
In what ways would you say? Like how?
Music wise, my city kind of competitive. So competing, doing that often a lot. Just want to be seen or show that I'm the best, show my talent. I got that, couple people always be competition.
Yeah, that like driving.
Yeah, the little rivalries, friendly rivalries, stuff like that. Different artists that I met, came up with their music.
Yeah, for sure. That drive to, be the best, the drive to put out, to be seen, to be heard, especially, can really push an artist forward. So that makes a lot of sense. So your song Black Beauty, which was released, I believe, yesterday,
Yes.
right? And it's going to be on your upcoming album. Listening to it, it was great. What do you want fans to feel or like think when they listen to the song? Like, how do you want the fans to receive, the song?
I want to envision Black Beauty. And, yeah, Black Beauty. Every Black person, you know what I'm saying? Aunt, mom, grandma, just shining on Black Beauty.
Yeah, for sure. Reaching out into the culture, trying to put that on display, show that. That's awesome. Yes, all different shades. Beautiful. Black is beautiful. So, what would you say is the concert or the song or like the moment where you knew that you had to do music? Like music was all you're going full in, nothing else.
Probably, I say younger, listening to Lil Wayne, or probably be honest, probably after like my first performance, first time I performed. I liked it, the reaction in the crowd. I liked it, the attention from the people, and they felt highly about my music, so it made me look at it in a different aspect, a different light, and I thought to myself, maybe it's time for me to take it serious.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So it's funny you say that because like my next question is going to be to like take us back to your first performance. So like, where was it? Like, how were you nervous? Were you like cool, confident?
No, I was really nervous. I was really nervous, and I was performing with maybe 5 other people, and it was my first time performing, and they let me know last minute like it was a competition.
Wow.
Yeah, I was nervous, but I used that, and it was a great performance. The pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
Ever since then, I get a thrill from it.
Yeah. What was that competition setting like? Because like my mind would have been going crazy. I would have been like, what the, now I gotta go against that person, that person. That was it like one after the other type thing?
Yeah, it was a few people. It was a few people there, and it was at a club in Detroit. It was a while ago. I believe I was 15. I was 15 in my first performance at the club.
Yeah, no, that's 15. I can't even imagine. So like what's it been like not being able to perform? Because like contrastly, like 2020, because of the pandemic, we haven't really been able to hold concerts or perform anywhere. So like what's that been like for you?
It bothered me a lot. It bothered me a lot, but it's like I just stay rehearsing. So it's like I still perform every day, even if it's in here. Just prepare myself for when we back out in the field and able to perform.
Yeah, no, definitely. If you be ready, you ain't got to, you know what I mean? Get ready. If you stay ready, you don't have to get out there and like play around. No, that makes a lot of sense. So what's next for you? I know that this upcoming project is obviously upcoming and next, but like what else is on your plate? Like what else have you been working on?
Um, Video productions, putting a visual to the music that's coming out. That's
So
been
are we expecting kind of like a visual album to your upcoming album, or is it just specific singles?
Yes, it's visuals.
Visuals for sure. No, that's awesome.
Plan to put a visual behind every song.
That would be cool. No, that would be really dope. I was listening to also Hop Out and Make Sense, so I could totally see the visuals going along with that and that being a cool project. So that's awesome. That sounds exciting. Do we have like do you already have a date for your upcoming album, or is it still TBD?
I say about 2 more months.
2 more months. All right, so y'all heard it here. 2 more months. The album's gonna be coming out, well, approximately. You might be able to expect it. Are you excited? What are your feelings towards it? Because it'll be your first full album.
Yes.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about that? Like
I'm excited about it.
you excited about it? Is there a particular song that you like already, or is it your favorite?
I would probably say Make Sense, probably one of my favorite. Make Sense.
Yeah. No, it's a great song. It's a good song. I like it. So I'm sorry?
Which song is you like? Which song is
I really like Black
the
Beauty.
ones you've heard? Which one do you like most?
So out of the ones I heard so far, and I've heard the Black Lives Matter song, obviously, is chart topping, it's climbing the charts, it's doing wonderful. Black Beauty, I would say, is my favorite. That was one of the ones I listened to. And then I would say like Make Sense and then Hop Out. But I really liked Black Beauty. I thought that was a great song. I love what you did with it. I love the elements that you added to it. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it. It's a great song, for sure.
I appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, no, for sure. So I guess another one of the questions I would have for you is, what has been the best advice you've gotten so far in the music industry?
To stay working.
Stay working. Yeah, for sure. That's a big part of the music industry. You know, a lot of people think that they could just put out a single, but it's for sure a constant work ethic, a constant energy, a constant mindset that you have to keep going. So it's great advice, for sure. And I know we've mentioned a lot of your favorite artists or artists that you've influenced, who have influenced you. Who are in your top 5 artists of all time? It doesn't have to be current. It could span all time.
Top 5. Johnny Lucas, Lil Wayne, Tia, Jay-Z, Eminem.
Awesome. Great top 5. I was gonna say, I could tell kind of the Joyner Lucas and Wheezy were definitely gonna be in your top 5 because you have artist playlists dedicated to them on your Spotify. So I was like, oh, I could see that. I could totally see the like for that. So tell everybody kind of where to find you. Where can we find you? Where to look for you?
Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal. I would say pretty much all the.
That's awesome. And that's King with 2 eyes, right?
Yes, King with 2 eyes.
Very important information. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining me today on this podcast interview. It's been great having you on. Yeah, of course. Much success to you, like Black Lives Matter, for the upcoming album, for Black Beauty, for all of it. I know Black Lives Matter is on the DRT charts as well as the radio airplay charts. I think you're number 38. So definitely keep hustling, keep working, keep grinding, because you're definitely, I would say, an artist to watch, for sure.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Of course, and we're always here to uplift, support artists. So if you ever want to come back on when your album comes out, let me know. I would love to have you.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, King, for joining us today. And you have a great, wonderful afternoon. Well, evening. Thank you.
blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yeah, well, yeah. She blacker than a motherfucker, too.
I ain't fucking with you.
The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? I say the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? Can't forget, little baby, you gave her the look. Eyes of a goddess, I'm talking straight off the look. Forever glowing, she walking, she gotta know that she got it. I flipped the track for the baby and stated facts like I promised. Girl, no capping, you got it. Fuck them ratchets you popping. If they ever do try it, it's back to back and we mopping. For the baby, I'm stepping, just point him out, I'm addressing. Before he reach to the side, it beat is now that he catching. Baby, colder than ever, I need a wrap like a sweater. Infatuated with chocolate, it ain't a piece out of better. I go dumb for the baby, she got me dying to get her. I popped a pilly with Brody, it got me writing her letters. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? I say the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? Hey, where you going, babe? Hey, you should stay and kick it. I'm a Will Smith, hey, hater Jada Pickett. I'm feeling the body, the video fixing. She can stay a little while, we can forever on that lame shit. Let me X out with that lame dick. Quick pick, then lane shift. Pick 6 for my main dish. Porcelain on my favorite. Expensive chocolate they can't get. Foreign taste that's so rich. Make a nigga do bullshit. Step it up, I got cold drip. Told the brodies I'm on this. Standard pieces just won't hit. King size what she gon' get. Ayy, ayy. Cold and picky, I'm so hip. Ayy. Call the big, yeah, I'm so hip. Ayy, blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? I say the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. I got memories, baby, and you remember it too. I go through this shit daily, what you expect me to do? I'm so 100 and solid, why you keep playing with fools? I look at you and wonder why would you even wanna stay when all they do is lie to you, make you cry every other day. Whoa. How many times have you said I'll be down before I take him back? Yeah, but then you take him back again. You must like me. Why you keep putting up with this lame? Why you keep letting them play these games? I see a predicament and I ask myself why you won't cut him off and forget him? Why won't you ever learn your lesson? Every time I look at your predicament, ask myself why? IJS, you so bad, shouldn't have to go through this. I guess I wouldn't feel this way if you and me never ever kissed. No, I know we said we would never bring that up. That was a mistake. Ooh, we're attracted to each other, but you predicament. Ask myself why? Could you imagine? Could you imagine a new life with me? New life. Just think about how happy you would be. So happy. I treat you way more than you were. You'll be all mine, baby. Could you imagine a new life with me? Can you imagine? Just think about how happy you would be. Happy you would be. I treat you way more than you were. For the life of me, I can't understand why. These games. I see a predicament and I ask myself why you won't cut them off and forget them? Why won't you ever learn your lesson? Every time I look at your predicament, ask myself why?
Just sold it all. Cook the salt, drop online. Hey, whatever. Tell Migga to bring me my pink phone, you heard me? 100 of them just ordered up. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine, a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up. Surrounded by the angels. Diamonds on when I'm talking love.
She won't be my little baby,
but I'm afraid to fall in love.
She say I only get excited when the pack touchdown.
Pray that we don't get indicted in the trap uptown. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine, a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up. Hold up, give me that money, little nigga. You knowin' that I'ma do right with it. Private charter, they snorting that tartar. I got them surrounded by white women. I got them looking like Paris Hilton. Each one of my teeth got a carrot in it. Hey, I think my plug racist. All he seen is white. They going dumb in the slum where I'm from. Got a drum on a gun like a parrot. They say that I'm making a major mistake for delivering weight, but I barely listen. I got a play that I'm about to go make for like 200K and I'm out of minutes. I can remember the day when this shit was a shame and I didn't even have a penny. Brand new apartment and we couldn't afford no new furniture. Put us a mattress in. When broken them all, I was trying to keep up with the images. Still had to stack and get it. My daughter turned 1 on a Sunday. Next morning on Monday, I had to go back to prison. My woman was pregnant with Gaza. I put it in throttle and got a new pad to live in. My sister was crying. She wanted a new body. I went out and got her some ass to live. Grinding independently, showing no sympathy. Don't let the industry gas a nigga. When bought me some diamonds, I did it for Mizey, but I never really been flashy with it. Kicking myself in the ass, I went tatted the face of a snake on the back, my kidney. Shit, I give any man a chance, you heard me? But once you show me a flaw, that fallback game in full effect. Look, you can leave your gun in the car, dick. Look at Brass, I'ma speak for him. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine, a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up. Surrounded by the angels. Diamonds on when I'm talking love.
She won't be my little baby,
but I'm afraid to fall in love.
She say I only get excited when the pack touchdown.
Pray that we don't get indicted in the trap uptown. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine, a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up. These niggas showing me anger. They taking it out on me. Hit the booth after I hang up with Maceo Haziz. I really fuck with dude for real. Disruptive behavior, eluded meals. Truly been given a taste. Considered this taste for normal foolish shit. OC on the road when the coca was slow, but I still was on go. I was moving pills. Money discussion ain't asking a nigga for nothing. You look like a fool for real. Thumbing through hundreds, attempting to limit consumption of drinking. I'm through with this. Caught me ahead in a few attempts. Caught me in the gap with a cooler kid. Depressing as hell when you step on the scale. Thinking damn, I got fat out and grew some tits. Supposed to be Muslim, but they start started judging me, laser removing the crucifix. I hit Rodeo, I'm not on the payroll. I shot to Laredo to do it big. Shout out to players who moving bricks, breaking the package down, booming niggas. I throw you a 4-8, 2 for 6. Stand on the jack and I'm too legit. I stand in the kitchen and do the food. Way on the digit, 1 tool and 6. Scraping the dish, she get her a push on the pipe and say Superman do exist. Moving the wrist, that's moving shit. Ain't moving like them, that's goofy shit. Call me a blessing cause I'm a perfectionist. Shorty boutique and a booty big. Tell him it's wonder this shit turning people to zombies and I don't approve of this. I got what you want, I deliver the focus up under the trunk of the Honda Civic. My partner denied me, his bitch started biting and he didn't want me to fuck her with it. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up. Surrounded by the angels. Diamonds on when I'm talking love.
She won't be my little baby,
but I'm afraid to fall in love. She say I only get excited when the pack touchdown. Pray that we don't get indicted in the trap uptown. Bitch, I'm a big gangster. I turn around with that foreign love. Cocaine a slanger. 100 of them just ordered up.